Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Let's Talk Business South Carolina. We're up to episode number 66 if you are keeping score, and as always, I am your host, Rick Jenkins. For 16 years, Dave Edwards has been at the helm of Greenville-Spartanburg International Airport, guiding one of the region's most important transportation assets through a period of unprecedented growth and national recognition. With nearly 4 decades in the aviation industry, Dave transformed GSP from a solid regional airport into a modern, high-performing, award-winning international gateway. And now Dave is set to retire and fly off into the sunset. I'm going to talk with Dave here in just a minute, and I'm also going to be talking to his successor, Kevin Howell, who has been at GSP Airport for 15 years. But before I get to those two guys, I do want to thank our presenting partner, Haynesworth Sinclair Boyd, one of the premier law firms in the state. Founded more than 130 years ago, Haynesworth Sinclair Boyd now has 5 offices and more than 100 attorneys doing business across the Carolinas. The law firm has experience litigating in many industries, from IT and real estate to healthcare and manufacturing to telecommunications and transportation. Thanks again to Haynesworth Sinclair Boyd for helping to make it possible to bring this content to the business community in South Carolina. And now I am joined by Dave Edwards, the longtime CEO at Greenville-Spartanburg International Airport. Dave, welcome back to the show.
Rick, always glad to be here. It's great to be back.
You know, I got to tell you, I hate it, but this is going to be the last time you're with me.
Well, I don't know. You could invite me back.
I could, but I have a feeling that I just have a feeling it's not going to happen, Dave. I just have a feeling it's not going to happen. But who knows?
Is that because you won't invite me or you don't think I'll come?
Well, both. As I said in the intro, man, this is it. You're going to be out here in a few days, right? I mean, your last day is January the 9th on Friday. Some folks won't see this until after you're gone, but, it's airing a few days before that, man.
Yeah.
All right, before you start talking, I do want to say this. In 1987, you graduated from Florida Institute of Technology with a degree in airport management. I remember asking you on one of the shows a couple years ago, how in the heck did you know when you were young that you wanted to go into airport management? We won't get into that. You can watch that show. However, you did that in 1987, and you fast forward just a few years, and now you're getting ready, as I said, to fly off into the sunset. 16 and a half years at GSP, man. How does it feel?
It feels great. It's been a great career. As I tell a lot of folks, I ended up in a place and with a career that's better than I deserve at the end of the day. I never would have envisioned that I would have been a CEO of an airport back in 1987, or I would even say into the 2000 timeframe. And so it's just been a tremendous honor and privilege to be able to lead some organizations. Later in my career, for the last roughly 5 years, I've been leading organizations, and so it's just been a lot of fun.
Dave, I don't think it is a reach at all to say that your tenure at GSP has been especially successful. There's been all kinds of things that you have been able to accomplish. Your team obviously has been able to accomplish over these last decade and a half. There have been hundreds of thousands of dollars in infrastructure investments and improvements. Passenger traffic has doubled. Cargo operations, which is huge. I want to talk about cargo specifically in a little bit, but cargo operations have kind of become a focus now, a hub of sorts, and customer experience ratings are through the roof. And you won a bunch of awards, right? Best airport in North America in your class 3 times. Was it twice in a row in 3 out of 4 years?
3 out of 4 years or 3 years in a row, and 4 out of the last 5.
Yeah. Okay. See, it just keeps coming and it keeps coming. Okay. So out of all that stuff, give me one. Give me one that when you go home, you're going to say, that's the thing that really, and I'm looking for the thing that is the most impactful to the upstate of South Carolina.
We talked a little bit about the team, and I don't want to not mention that again. So that's one. But if I looked at a little bit about what might be impactful for the community to recognize, when I came in 2009, the economic impact of the airport was $377 million. we did our last economic impact, not quite a year, I guess about a year ago, 4.7 billion in that case. So 377 million to 4.7 billion. I think that says a lot about what we've accomplished at the airport over the last 16 years. And that it is a tremendous economic engine for the upstate of South Carolina, that I know folks recognize. And that's very gratifying as well, is this community gets the importance of the airport to the community.
Right. I want to talk about three things and just kind of briefly on each one. We've already touched on all of them to some degree, but I want to talk about infrastructure improvements. I want to talk about passenger growth, and I want to talk about recognition and awards just a little bit more. And so let's start with infrastructure improvement. We're talking terminal modernization. We're talking about a huge parking garage, $97 million parking garage where you've consolidated a rental car facility inside that. And what else am I missing? Oh, cargo expansion. That's where I was going, cargo expansion. And I'm sure there are other things too. Give us an update on where all that is. I mean, I think we're all good, right? I mean, you've tied a bow on so many things.
Well, that was a little bit of the plan. I'm saying sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, right? So I was hoping that we could wrap a bunch of our major projects that we had underway before my departure, in part to leave a clean slate for the team to kind of step in and take over the new set of projects that are coming. So the great thing is, now it's hard to believe it's been 8 years since we wrapped Wingspan in 2017. Great project for the airport. As you mentioned, we just wrapped the parking garage project, roughly $100 million project, 1,500 space garage, 750 for public parking, 750 for rental car, a new rental car customer service facility, which is just state of the art in what we put in place. We finished up in the last year or so the new roadway curb front as well, redid all that, a couple of new roundabouts. We're doing a road connector that'll finish up pretty much right now by the end of the year. We're doing a new lighting project along the main Aviation Parkway, as well as some of the other connector roads in that will help provide some better lighting. And then we've added new, roughly, I think, 75,000 square feet of hangar space over in the general aviation area. We built 160,000 square feet of cargo building space. Next year, the team will execute on another 40,000 square feet of hangar space. So it's just been a great run of putting infrastructure on the ground that's needed. And I think the one thing we've done is we've always built based on demand. We haven't necessarily, we haven't built based on just a dream at the end of the day. So.
Dave, GSP, I mentioned it a minute ago, and I told you I wanted to talk about it. So let's talk about cargo. GSP has become a real cargo airport, right? And in an area, not only South Carolina, but in the upstate of South Carolina, we have become a manufacturing hub, a logistics hub. Having an airport that is devoted to the cargo side of business, I think, is important. You?
I do think it's important, and I don't know that I realized that when I first came here in 2009. But after being here for a few years and learning more about the manufacturing base here in the upstate of South Carolina, it became apparent that we had an opportunity here that we needed to capitalize on. So in 2010, 2011, we started to work towards that. By 2016, I say by 2016, that's 5 years it took us. In order to get our first nonstop international cargo service over to Europe, but I think a really big win, and I think the rest is a little bit of history. We did extremely well during COVID, very successful. We've seen some of those numbers fall off a little bit because much of the cargo traffic has moved back to more traditional paths, that be on ships or other means or in the bellies of aircraft rather than all cargo activity. But we're still holding our own, and we're excited about the future of cargo at GSP. I think it's going to continue to be important from a business line perspective for the airport. I think there's going to be continued opportunity for growth there as we move forward, and as we see industry grow in the upstate South Carolina. The difference between cargo and passenger traffic, your primary catchment area is maybe 30-minute drive, maybe 45. Secondary, maybe an hour and a half. Cargo, it's a one-day truck drive, right? So the reach in order to secure, cargo capacity and convince folks to set up shop at GSP That reach is pretty far out there. So I think there's some exciting times going forward for cargo.
Let's talk about passenger growth. As I mentioned earlier, it has doubled during your tenure. We're talking, what, 3 million
There's more than double. More than double.
more than doubled. If I got the number right, about 3 million annual travelers.
Yeah, we're almost at 3.1 now.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. What has driven that growth? I would assume that the popularity of Greenville and Spartanburg's resurgence, those types of things help. But
Well, I think there's a couple of things. I think one, just the natural population growth, the organic population growth over the last 15 years has helped that. But I think also, too, the team has done a really good job at securing additional routes that are nonstop routes around the country. So, it's what we hear, and we still hear today, is that the more nonstop services you get, the more likely people are to fly out of GSP versus maybe make that drive to Charlotte or make the drive to Atlanta. And so growing the dots on the map are going to be extremely important going forward. We've been really close a couple of times with our first international service up to Canada. I hope that happens in the next few years. I think there's a really good opportunity for that. And then we've got Breeze Airways, who came in a few years ago, has grown really well in adding destinations and is now staying in the market more year round. And I think at least what they're telling us over the next few years, we could see a continued growth of their service at GSP to include potentially a crew base here, which would be really big for the airport.
right. Awards and recognition. We've already talked, man. You won a ton of them. Other than the fact, obviously, that you've the best airport in North America many, many times. What's the award that you're most proud of?
I don't know that in this one, I don't know that there's a single one. I would say because they all touch different segments of people that we deal with. So on the customer side, obviously, the one that you just mentioned, best airport in North America in our class, 3 out of the last 4, or 3 in a row and 4 of the last 5 years, is very gratifying to have your customers talk about you that way because it is a customer-driven survey. On the other side, we went into a survey a couple of years ago called Airport Next, which was a survey of, and we were in a pilot program, a survey of our tenants, economic development agencies in the community, chambers, and others. So that's more kind of the business community, people that we have partnerships and relationships with from a business perspective. And we, again, were number 1 in our class when that was finished. So again, by a different group, that was very rewarding. And then I would add the third in there would be, the last couple of years, we were identified as a top 50 employer in the state of South Carolina. Again, an employee survey, a response to that. And so for me, those things, just being recognized by folks that you deal with that are telling you you're doing a good job, that to me is very rewarding.
Well, I tell you, Dave, Kevin Howell, he's got some big shoes to fill when you leave, and he is going to be filling those shoes here in just a few days because, as I mentioned, you are retiring on Friday, January the 9th. So let's do this. Let's take a quick break, and we will come back, and we'll get Kevin in that chair right there, and we'll continue the conversation. Sounds great? All right. Be right back, folks. Welcome back, everyone. And, of course, we're here talking with Dave Edwards, the retiring CEO of GSP International Airport. But now we are joined by Kevin Howell. Kevin is the Executive Vice President over at the airport, longtime COO there under Dave. And, Kevin, you are getting ready to step into Dave's shoes, so to speak, in just a few days. How you feeling?
Feeling great. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm glad you're here. 15 and a half years you had been here, right? In Lee Upstate. And Dave came here 16 and a half years, and so he poached you from Asheville. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's mostly correct. I came down from Asheville, North Carolina. Came to GSP in 2010. So that's been a fast 15 years.
Right. Where are you from?
Grew up in Tennessee, West Tennessee. Spent some time in Middle Tennessee. My first airport was Nashville, Tennessee. Worked there for a few years and went to the state of Arkansas. Worked for the Little Rock National Airport.
Wow.
Then ended up in Nashville, and again, in 2010 came to GSP. So there's about 27 years of airport experience there. It's been fun.
Dave, succession planning, critical part of being the big boss. You're getting ready to head out the door, and this guy has been tasked with filling your shoes, and I'm sure you had a lot to do with that. Obviously, why is this the right guy?
Well, I think for lots of reasons. I just have confidence that one, Kevin's paid his dues, right? I mean, he could have left me on more than one occasion and gone and become an airport CEO someplace else. But he was very committed to GSP, very committed to the upstate, very committed to our organization and the folks there. And I think that meant a lot to me over the years. And so, when the opportunity came to continue to help set him up to step into these shoes, when I decided to step away, I couldn't think of anybody better. I mean, we share a lot of the same vision. We built the culture of the organization together. So, when you're leaving a place, you want to know that hopefully some of those things that you put together are going to be carried on. And I know Kevin will do that. And at the same time, Kevin has his own vision for some things that he wants to get done. And so, I respect that, and I know he'll do a great job.
Right. I'm sure he will. Kevin, we're going to talk about your vision in just a sec. We've been sitting here with Dave talking about the past and looking back at all the great things that have happened. I want to look forward now. So it's the beginning of 2026, and it's your ship now to guide. Let's talk about some things that I know are going on in 2026. So I'm going to tee you up.
Okay.
And you just tell me what's going on, right? And so I'm going to start with the runway rehabilitation that I believe starts 6 months, 8 months from now, something like that.
Late next summer, probably starts really in June, July.
Okay.
Next summer, we got some key work happening in September.
Yeah.
But just like, DOT has to repave roads, airports have to repave runways. Yeah. So about every 15 to 20 years, you got to go out there, and especially on asphalt surfaces, you got to go out there and mill down a couple inches, take that asphalt up and put new asphalt down. And that's what we're going to be doing next summer. For us, it can be complicated. We are one runway airport, and that puts a little bit extra challenge to the team. If we had multiple runways, we could shut one down, land on the other, and keep on going. But in an airport like GSP, it requires a lot of night work. We're going to be doing some night work leading up into September, but we've actually got 2 weekends in September. We're going to have to shut the runway down on a Friday night, work all weekend, and get it paved and open back up on Monday. So we've been preparing for that for a couple of years. This might be the project that pushed Dave into retirement. I don't know. But that's what's coming next summer, next September.
Let's talk about the terminal program, and I'm not really sure what that is, so enlighten me, please.
Sure. Well, I mean, just like I think you and Dave were speaking about the growth here in the upstate and the tremendous growth that the upstate has seen, we're trying to respond to that growth. If you look at where the airport's come in the last 15 years, and again, we're just pushing over 3.1 million passengers. When we look out and start doing our forecast planning, we really see the need to try to prepare the airport for 8 million passengers. So we're in planning right now. We'll be starting design probably in the spring, but we're going to be expanding the terminal. We're going to be adding about 6 gates to our north side, all new outbound and inbound baggage systems. So this is really, trying to not building things just to build things, but building the airport to prepare for the upstate's future. The area is growing, businesses are coming here, new citizens of the upstate that want to fly places, and we're trying to make sure the airport's prepared for that.
I haven't seen the plan and I haven't read about it. So if I'm looking at the airport, where is that construction going to occur? Down to the left?
So mostly to the north. So if you're facing the terminal, it would be to your right.
To the right.
So if you're familiar with the airport, you got the A concourse and the B concourse. We'll be adding about 6 gates to the north end of the B concourse.
Right. So now when people come into the airport, they've been rerouted. It used to be you kind of just come straight in, right? But now we kind of go around this way. Is that going to continue that loop when the expansion is?
The roadway that you're referring to takes you around the north end of the new Garage C and the new rental car facility. That's our most northern parking garage now.
Yeah.
But just across from that parking garage is really where that expansion is going to happen.
You got a new hangar planned as well.
We do, yeah. General aviation, corporate aviation is growing just like we talked about on the passenger side. We have businesses coming here, new individuals coming here that need a place to house their aircraft. Several years ago, we made the decision to run the fixed base operation ourselves as GSP. We do that under a brand name called Cerulean Aviation. but Cerulean is done very well for the airport, and I think it's serving the community well. But the hangars are full. We've got customers asking for places to house their aircraft. And so this is just the next step of trying to grow and respond to the growing marketplace.
What else is on tap for 2026 or 7?
Yeah, just looking at the future. I mean, if you really look at the 3 or 4 major focuses for us, we talked a little bit about the passenger terminal and commercial airlines, but corporate aviation growth, general aviation growth, cargo growth. I think we're going to see a stronger push to talk about our campus and talk about our 3,700 acres and look at opportunities, whether it's aviation development or non-aviation real estate development. So the team's really going to be focused on that these next couple of years and trying to see how we can best develop some of our property in a way that is forward thinking, what serves the community well with, good jobs, good businesses, hopefully people that want to use the airport, but also allows us to diversify our revenues.
Might we see a hotel?
Maybe that's been talked about a lot, and I think that's definitely high on our list to see where that goes.
Maybe a hotel with a small conference center.
That has been talked about. Like I said, it's definitely on the top of our list.
Let's make that happen. Well, folks, I appreciate it. Dave, man, you got 3 days and then you're out of here. In your retirement, what are you going to do? You going to fish? Are you going to, I don't know, you're going to play cards? You're going to sit on your back deck and have a cocktail? What you doing?
Yes.
Yes, the above.
All the above. So yeah, a little fishing, a little golf. Want to spend some more time with the grandkids. Spend a little more time with the family in general. But immediately after retirement, I'm going to take 3 or 4 weeks and clear my head. And then my wife and I are going on a 6-week ski trip out west. So about 4 weeks in and around Utah, a week up in Idaho, a week over in Jackson Hole. So going to go cut some slopes up for a little bit.
Well, that sounds great. I wouldn't last 6 minutes on a ski slope, much less 6 weeks. But Dave, I'm going to tell you, I've known you for quite some time, and the community has been fortunate to have you over this last 16 years, 16 and a half years, right? And I'm glad to know you. I'm glad to know you. It's been a pleasure.
Rick, it's been my pleasure. Thanks so much for your friendship over the years. It's been great to spend time with you, and thanks for your interest in the airport.
Oh, sure.
I hope that continues going forward with Kevin.
Right.
And, just keep making us look good.
Kevin, good luck to you, my friend.
Thank you.
And I appreciate you being here.
Thanks for having me.
Folks, Dave Edwards, outgoing CEO at GSP International Airport, and Kevin Howell, incoming CEO at GSP International Airport. Thanks for joining us on another episode of Let's Talk Business South Carolina. We'll see you next time.